Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wealthy LaLa Show with myself, Laurie Laursen. Today is episode 163-2. How does it get any better? So today is our usual Wednesday mini reading day. So I've pulled out some cards that I have not used yet before, not on one of my reading days here, and they are the Universe Has Your Back cards by Gabrielle or Gabby Bernstein. Okay. She's written some books called The Universe Has Your Back and other ones, I think Spirit Junkie or something like that. Anyways, and No Judgment something. Yeah. Anyways, I'm just right now actually currently listening to her book, The Universe Has Your Back. And so I got her cards. So today we're at this point in time, I think we're picking 3 cards again. And we're going to see what 3 cards have messages for us. And again, if you guys have a specific area that you'd like to ask questions about, just kind of hold that in the intention in your head. And also you can just see what the universe surprise and delights you with. Okay, so there's 3 cards in front of me. So there's left, middle, and right. Now these ones don't have a book, so we're just going to be going just by the messages on it, on the actual cards. And are you ready? So I wonder. Okay, now for me, just looking at them, the left card is the one that kind of is popping to me. So let's see what it has to say. So we'll start with the left one. You ready? Energy flows where my intention goes. Interesting. So I just recently did a live stream with Dr. Joe Dispenza. So he did a meditation, like a lecture and then a meditation. And one thing I really heard him say when he was describing the meditations is, like, for many of us, we've closed off our hearts. And, just by, trauma, upset, disappointment, sadness, grief, whatever. For each of us, it's all different. But and hurt. So we close off our heart. And one of the things he encourages us to do in these meditations is to open our heart, bring in a love for life, a bless for life, an awe and joy, and feel it in our heart. And so this has been something that, I started doing, and I'm just like, wow, mine feels like kind of dead, like energetically dead, right? And he said, what you do is when you put your focus on the heart and bring in these energies, that's what assists in opening it. Okay. And now what's cool is for the scientific part of my brain, he talks about how they've proven this with science, with the different energy recordings and devices he uses at his workshops. So knowing that, if you know that if you continue to put energy like towards the negative things in your life, then you're going to create more of that similar kind of energy. Okay. So energy flows where your intention goes. So if you would like to actually have a different intention, what intentions would you like to have for your life that creates the energy, the field, the source, the universe contributing to whatever you are doing? Because that's one thing that I really got from what he said was your desires. You want to synchronize your desires with the field, with the universe, with the quantum, with the source, with the divine. Now, those are my words. And so being aware of where we put our attention would also then create awareness as to what energy where we're putting the energy, like the energy is going to follow there. So just have an awareness of that for yourself. So what I've been looking at with my meditations and even with my life is when I put my attention on something, that's where energy is going. And so how am I being when I am focusing on something with intention. So whether it's cooking, whether it's kids, whether it's grandkids, whether it's other people, whether it's the TV, that my energy is going there, and how am I being with that? So anyways, how's it get any better? Second card, so this is the middle card. So the middle card, thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perceptions so that I can see what is of the highest good. So yeah, if you got that card, or that card was light for you, or this message is, light for you, is there areas in your life where you have fear? And like I talked about on yesterday's show, is there a place where you can surrender it? And thank you for expanding my perceptions so that I can see what is of the highest good. Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. So like, what's beyond that? Yeah. So the third card, I am a spirit having a human experience, and I am here to get closer to love. Whew. This would have been a card, like had I read this card, even 6 months or a year ago, I would have been like, you know, like love is, I guess, something that I struggle with, because it all depends on how you were brought to love, or whether we have an experience of it. And what I noticed is that as I do more of Dr. Joe's meditations, and so referring to his meditations where he's getting us to open our heart, is the more I'm actually doing that meditation and opening my heart, the more I am actually perceiving what they're referring to as getting closer to love. I'm finding that I'm less judgmental of myself and others. I am finding that there's a softness, there's a sweetness, there's a kindness, even more than I had before. And the only difference is I've been doing these meditations, and I've been asking for my heart to open. So what I find is so interesting is we are so innately that when we uncover and like clean up the fear, or the anger, or the doubt, or the sadness, or the limitations that we sort of took on throughout our lives journey, that as we sort of clean that up, it then, that love that we be, the love that we desire to share, is just there. And it's not a should. It's not because it's the right thing to do to assist people at the food bank. It's not just because it's the right thing to do to help the neighbor down the street, or be a part of a community group. It's actually innately in who we be. And it may be those things, and it also doesn't have to look like that too. It could be that, or it could be just even the person that you see at the grocery store, and the love that you spread all over them when you choose that. One thing that was really kind of fun was we were like, my one family member who came here last week is here for our family wedding, and so the wedding is happening on, or will have happened already, on August 4th. So it's a Sunday, it's on the August long weekend. And I don't know if you guys find this in your world, but a lot of people get pretty protective of the long weekends that we have here, just because, and I may have shared this on the show the other day, I can't remember. But anyways, you're going to hear it again if you did. So it wants to come through. So whatever's right about that. Anyways, so my cousin and I had actually gone into the local library, and we were chatting, and I had introduced my cousin to the lady who works at the library, who I've known for pretty much the whole time I've lived here, which is over 20 years, and was sharing with her that we have this family wedding. And she, out of the blue, and then we were saying about how, many people have judgments about weddings being on long weekends, just because people want to enjoy them camping, whatever. And then it was so funny because the woman we're talking to, she's like, oh, well, as a matter of fact, August 4th is my 40th wedding anniversary. And I thought it was so cool that we got to celebrate that concept, like that idea with her, that it was a day that her and her hubby chose years ago because it worked for family that was traveling. They had a lot of family coming from a different province. And it just ended up being a situation that just created more like love, for lack of a better word. And I really like that. And like looking at these three cards, energy flows where my intention goes. So I could have walked away from that. Sorry for the yawning. I could have walked away from that conversation being like, oh, yeah, I so agree. I'm still feeling the same way about long weekends, blah, blah, blah. Don't want to give it up for camping, just whatever. And then, or it could be like even looking at this second card, help me see beyond the limits of fear. Well, those are really fear-based thoughts. Like, who says that long weekends are the only weekends that you can have fun? Like, oh my gosh, it's so limited, that thought. And we catch ourselves with these limited thoughts, deciding something rather than you find out a wedding is on a long weekend and you be like, wow, I wonder how much fun I can have with this. Well, universe, you can surprise and delight me. And, you may get close to that weekend and find out that the weekend, it poured the whole weekend. So it wasn't any fun camping anyways. Or you have such a good time at the wedding or whatever function you go to on the long weekend that you're like, oh my God, that was so amazing. Oh, that's okay that I miss camping. Or it may even work out that you'll be come to that weekend and you'll be like, I'm really glad I had the wedding because I didn't feel like going camping anyways this weekend. It was nice to stay home and do stuff and then go to the wedding. And yeah, just really allowing ourselves to love all these different things that show up in our lives, not necessarily as we plan, and that we can also decide the energy that we create and bring into our future. So I could choose after, you know, a weekend where you have a wedding like that, you could choose forward. It's like, and bitch and complain about it, or you could choose to be just grateful for it. And those are energies that we actually put forth into our future. So like energy flows where my intention goes. What's your intention? Is your intention to keep complaining about something, to stay bonded with the people around you? Or do you actually desire to have a different energy flow into your life? And so you want to play with that and see what happens by choosing. It's just like, wow, I thought that it would have mattered to me having a wedding on a long weekend, and I decided to choose something different. I wonder what would be loving to me about this. Do you know, actually, that reminds me, someone sent me an email today, and I just want to find the question that was in it because I actually was really grateful for this question. Okay, where is it? Doot to doot. I'm gonna find it. Holy, I didn't realize I got that many emails today. So, this particular woman is someone who I subscribed to her newsletter. And in the newsletter, she was talking about living an empowered life and how it wasn't even on her radar. And then she had read a book just recently where she heard this question. So the book is Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. So Kamal Cavalcant is the person's name. And the question is, if I loved myself, would I choose this? And really being present with that question. Like, if I loved myself, would I choose this attitude? If I loved myself, would I choose to not move my body today? If I loved myself, would I eat these potato chips? If I loved myself, and actually speaking of potato chips, I just had some, And I was really aware that my body really wanted them. I get that it's almost my time of the month where I'm going to get my period. My body it desires different foods. Sometimes it likes a bit of salt beforehand. And when I got that awareness, it was like, if I loved myself, would I choose to judge myself for eating chips? And as soon as I did that, the judgment and the heaviness went away, and I was just aware that it was something my body required. So, if I loved myself, would I choose this? Would I choose to be disappointed about a wedding being on a weekend that I think would not be a good weekend for a wedding? No, I don't have a point of view about it. I just know other people do, and I've heard people lately say comments about it. And so that's what brought it to mind, because this is when the wedding is happening. And so it's kind of fresh in my mind. So if you loved yourself, would you choose to judge the choices that, what's coming up for you this weekend? Would you choose to judge the things that you eat or don't eat? And would you choose to move your body? Would you choose to eat something different? If you loved yourself, would you allow toxic, unhealthy thoughts in your mind? And anyways, yeah. So if I loved myself, would I choose this? If you guys play with this question, let me know how it goes. I really like it. I'm going to put it on a sticky note and have it close to me here. So anyways, okay. I went over time today. You guys take care. Thank you so much for listening. Big hugs. And yeah, I'm just really, truly grateful.